Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic Bank Holiday Monday, wherever you are around the world as well. Welcome back to another news episode for you guys this evening. Of course, we do have a bit of news to talk about tonight, of course. But again, let me know how all of you are in the comment section down below. Of course, if you're watching currently, of course, Leicester beating Everton by 2 goals to 1. Should have been 3-1, but if it wasn't for James Maddison and that crappy penalty. But still, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well. And of course, just let me know how you lot are in the comments overall as well. If there are anyone new in yet as well, then please hit that share button, hit that subscribe button as well. And don't forget to hit that like button. As well, be very much appreciated as always. Anyway, but of course, as you can tell by the thumbnail and title, of course, we're going to be speaking on Manuel Ugarte. Yes, reports have come out saying that Liverpool scouts have been watching Manuel Ugarte, of course, over the last couple of weeks and potentially yesterday as well. We'll be speaking about that. We'll also be speaking about Thiago Alcantara, as well as reports suggesting that Thiago might be leaving Liverpool in the near future as well. And of course, we'll be bringing you all of that news concerning Thiago as well. And of course, the main event, the headline, of course, Jurgen Klopp versus Paul Tierney. Again, of course, has caused a lot of conversation, certainly in media, and of course, I think around the football world as well. It's obviously become a major talking point over the last 24 hours at least. Anyway, and of course, we'll be speaking. All on what's come out, of course, over the last 24 hours, and of course, having a look as well. It's an article piece from This is Anfield as well, taking a look at all the controversy between the two as well over the last couple of years as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, of course, on everything that we've spoken about, or speak about, I should say, in tonight's episode as well. And of course, if any of you guys have seen anything as well, then please do let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comments down below anyway. But let me quickly go into the comments as well. Live in Adventure as well as it is in, saying hello. Hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend, as well. Actually, in the Scouse Bird as well. I think that's a rename, right? To be fair, but hello as well, saying just put in the no mount as well. Well, again, I haven't made it as a talking point tonight, but I know there was a certain, there was a certain post or a certain thing from I forgot what it was it the Mail or something like that, or something. Seen it where Mason Mount now is valued at £80 million, which, if that is the case, then Jesus Christ, like, I genuinely, right, I can't get over in my head where Chelsea are coming up with these numbers in terms of, 1 minute it's 60 million, then it's 70 million, and now by a reliable source it's now being rumored and suggested around around 80 million. For me, I don't get where Chelsea are coming up with that valuation. And yeah, very much so. I don't think they'll be getting that for Mason Mount anyway, unless, of course, somebody is out of their goddamn mind as well. But evenings as well, says Chris. Good seeing you, Chris, as well. Yeah, Everton, I feel for them as well. I do and I don't. I do because I've some good Everton friends as well, like obviously Tom and a few others as well. But yeah, they are just dire, aren't they? I mean, I'm watching it now, and again, Leicester should be 3-1 up. But then again, I think Everton should probably have scored another goal as well. Obviously, I know that Leicester's goalkeeper has had a few good saves so far as well. But yeah, I only feel sorry for my friends in terms of that. But again, I don't really care about the club. Again, will I miss Merseyside derbies and free 6 points? Yeah, sure, why not? Would love Ugarte. Hopefully, that's the start of many signings as well. Yeah, Chris, I think, look, we'll get on to Ugarte in a moment. But again, I think we've spoken about Liverpool needing a DM for the summer, as well as, new, number 8 at the club as well. I think, yeah, absolutely. I think Ugarte is probably the standout candidate. Obviously, I think Moises Caicedo as well is another one. But I think if you're looking In terms of valuation and the player himself as well, I think Ugarte, he ticks all the boxes of what Liverpool needs right now. And of course, I think he's only 22 years of age as well. It is unbelievable. Also, Patrick saying Adrian Gomez, Matip, Jones, Henderson, Milner, Alpha, Mel, Fabinho, Thiago, all done. It's time to move on as well. One or two I disagree with, but they obviously who's there? Jones, I think, is a good squad option. I think Fabinho is going to stay around, if we're being perfectly honest. But Thiago, of course, we'll get on to in a moment as well. Those cooked up. Yeah, we'll speak about that in a moment. Chat already says as well, saying watch some videos on Ugarte. Seems like a solid player. Would be a good signing. Yeah, absolutely. I think for the right price as well. Of course, he does have a 53 million pound release clause, which I think Liverpool are trying to negotiate on that. At the moment, I think they're very much in the sense of, again, they want £53 million, which I even think for that, for that price, I think Ugarte is solid in terms of DM. Like you look at Fabinho, we bought Fabinho for 40 million back. What was it? 2018. We bought Fabinho. Again, I think 53 is a reasonable-ish price for somebody like that as well. Just send me the link. No, thank you, Jordan. Again, if we do have call-in shows, again, I will leave links to put to invite people. But again, please don't ask in the comments. Again, like I said, I'll allow people to come on at some stage, of course, to have their thoughts and opinions. Maybe we might do a new call-in show as well. But again, please don't ask in the comments down below as well. Ugarte, Gavi, Pedri, sign them. Jesus Christ. Gavi, Pedri, impossible. Gvardiol, not impossible, but I think City's being awfully honest. Because again, City have money to burn as well this summer. Of course, whether or not if that's going to be on midfield or whether or not it's going to be on something else, I'm not particularly sure in that regard anyway. But Mason Mount, 80 million, it's ridiculous pricing as well. I'd say no to Bellingham. It's over. Liverpool should be kissing. Because the other way around. Again, I think Liverpool. I think there's something there. If he doesn't move it this summer, I think Jude Bellingham. I like to think Jude Bellingham and Liverpool are they're in the conversations. But again, that's all hope and dream. Of course, factual, Liverpool aren't getting Jude Bellingham this summer. So that's just a hope and dream anyway. But there's somebody that can potentially join Liverpool as well. And of course, you guys have already mentioned him in the comments in terms of Manuel Ugarte. Of course, reports came out today suggesting, of course, from Simon Jones saying that Liverpool had scouts watching Manuel Ugarte in action for Sporting yesterday. It was also reported as well that Newcastle and Arsenal scouts were also at the game last night. But then there was also a follow-up post suggesting that Liverpool have been scouting and watching. Obviously, they scout and watch every target or every player that's on the list, but they've been deeply watching him in terms of a report stat for the last couple of weeks. So again, Ugarte, we spoke about him a couple of weeks ago, and of course this week as well, in terms of he'd be a perfect signing for Liverpool. Of course, if Liverpool want to stay with this new system, of course, alongside Trent, again, would be perfect. I think again he's very technical, but he's like a Mascherano type player, I would say anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts, of course, with the release clause of £53 million. Like again, we've spoken about on, of course, numerous videos. Again, for me, I think it's a perfect price for Liverpool. And I think when you work out what Liverpool want to do this summer, I think it's the perfect price range. I think in terms of player profile, age, what he can bring to the team as well. While again, you're keeping the likes of Fabinho around for potentially squad options or just maybe rotation at first. While Ugarte gets used to, of course, the Premier League and the team itself. So it'll be interesting. I hope Liverpool do go after Ugarte. He's one of my people that I think that if Liverpool can get him and McAllister in as a bare minimum. Then for me, I think it's 100% you know, a good starting basis for the summer. Of course, not the final product, but again, a good a good a good way to start the summer. I would say anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well. What else do we have? Obviously, Live and Adventure says, I don't think Trent will play in midfield. I think Klopp wants him at right back, but wants him worked into central areas. Seems more like an adoption of our tactics. Well, yeah, exactly. And I think, look, at the moment, it is. I think once we've got our midfield sorted, I think again Liverpool will go back to 4-3-3. But in also saying that as well, I do think that it's also a fantastic option to have, like we've seen over the years with Jurgen in terms of, you know, I think you look back at the season that we won the Champions League and we won the Premier League. We adopted quite well to a 4-2-3-1. At times when the 4-3-3 wasn't working, and we added that extra attacker. Again, we have that in our locker. But I feel like this formation again going forward, it offers a lot in terms of that as well. But I just feel potentially defensively it does lack one or two one or two things in terms of protecting. Certainly like the right hand side for Liverpool, as well as Everton have just scored as well as 2-2 now as well. But I think once Liverpool have their midfield that they want, and hopefully again that's of course him, obviously Ugarte, Gravenberch, and potentially McAllister as well. I think look, it's fair enough for me to say that as well. But I think if Liverpool just get the midfield that they want and the number one targets that they want, I think there'll be no problem in going back to the 4-3-3 for next season, at least anyway. But again, that's just my thoughts anyway. How about saying new season, new captain, new squad? We're not going to get rid of everyone, lads. Like Jesus Christ, we're not City, we're not Newcastle in that regard as well. Even though Newcastle haven't done it that as far as, like, of course, Manchester City. But then now, if Jones wasn't a Scouse, he'd be dropped. Maybe not. But I think again, Curtis Jones has proven doubt us wrong over the last 5-6 games. Again, if he can continue the form, then why not keep him round? But again, you've got the contract there, so he keeps his value. If Liverpool, do think next season Curtis Jones can't be at that level, again, it's always the value is there for Curtis Jones, then I should say. But for me, again, 100%, Curtis Jones should stay at Liverpool next season. Klopp wants everyone in by early July for pre-season. I'd imagine 2 signings max. I think, by then, I think, two signings, should be done by. I would not be surprised though if Liverpool got all their business done before July. Because again, we hear already in terms of McAllister getting done, in terms of behind the scenes, and Liverpool pushing hard behind the scenes. Ugarte, Gravenberch as well. Supposedly, there's meant to have been a second meeting with his representatives to speak about the. And of course, like we brought the news yesterday or the day before. No, it was Saturday we brought it to you in terms of Gravenberch is apparently already told Bayern Munich he wants to leave in the summer. And again, Liverpool can't allow what happened last summer again to happen this summer. It has to be done straight away. We know what players we're getting or going after. This is why I think over the last probably the last 2 weeks, the Mason Mount story has gone, full circle. It's 1 minute it's again new contract for Mason Mount, or again, there's Arsenal, Man City that are, Mason Mount's camp is looking at as a potential option. Again, I think, and I think even today Mason Mount got quoted as being the priority target for Liverpool. I just don't think he is anymore. I think Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp will go, look, do you want to play for us? If he even thinks about it for 5 minutes, okay, sound, we'll go to the next person. I think, again, if Liverpool got Ugarte, McAllister, and Gravenberch for at the maximum price of 150 potentially. Again, I think that's really, really good business from Liverpool. Again, could be wrong though. There could be somebody else that we don't know about. Again, nobody knows everything in terms of Liverpool. But again, I think Ugarte nobody linked Ugarte for what there was a few like Portuguese reporters a couple of months ago about Ugarte in Liverpool, but nothing too major. And then again, the last week it's been again Liverpool Ugarte. It'd be interesting to see the likes of um, the fact that Neil Jones and Paul Joyce, they haven't really said anything about Ugarte yet. It'd be interesting about that. I don't know whether or not, of course, I know Neil Jones does a show with Redmen, speaking about transfers as well, and of course that'll be interesting to go and watch when they do that. But none of them have yet rejected anything in terms of Ugarte. Normally, you get around like again, Liverpool will be linked to this person or this person, and they'll be quickly like, yeah, Liverpool not interested. People I've spoken to, we're not too intrigued by them. There's been nothing on Ugarte in terms of getting rid of those rumours. So I think in particular, I think there is some substance there with Ugarte, and again, like he fits everything to a T to what Liverpool want from a DM. So again, be interesting to know again your guys' thoughts in the comments. What else do we have? I honestly think I will sign 2 midfielders, but how long do you think it will be before we hear the old line of "look at the midfielders we already have"? Again, that'll be already spoken about. Again, it is proper jokingly said, isn't it? Again, Liverpool can't do that. Like we're going to get on to Thiago in a moment as well, because obviously there's news concerning him as well. And obviously we'll get onto that in a moment, but Liverpool can't. Like again, Klopp spoke about it, and he said it after the press conference after the win against Spurs yesterday, and he was saying, "Look, I don't think we can get top four. Never say never, but top four is gone for us now. It's now Europa League qualification for us." And Jurgen's spoken about we want to get back to finals. We want to get back to fighting for the Premier League. We want to get back to being where Liverpool were this time last year. Liverpool have to be ruthless in the window. It can't be excuses in terms of money or finances or player profile or anything. Liverpool have to have a 10 out of 10 window. Like at a bare minimum, an 8 out of 10 window. It has to happen. And that's being realistic. That's not me saying like, look, oh yeah, go and buy Jude Bellingham 160 and then go and spend 160, 170 million on the 3 players I just mentioned earlier on. No, I don't think that's why anyone's saying. It's in terms of Liverpool, it can't be just 2 midfielders in the door and going, yeah, that sounds, we don't need any more. Liverpool need 3 at the minimum next season. And obviously with the likes of Stefan Bajcetic as well, also coming through as well, obviously gives you a boost in that sense as well. But yeah, for me, Liverpool can't be on the fences next summer. They have to be on it from minute one. And again, I'd love it if Liverpool just straight away went at the end of the season, oh, there's Alexis McAllister for you guys. I'd absolutely love that. But again, obviously you do have to take a bit of it in consideration as well, at least anyway. But Chris saying, I think are we only getting 2 midfielders in? I disagree. I think again Liverpool 3 as a minimum next summer. Yeah, Everton 2, Leicester 2 as well. It's still 2-2 as well. I've got the game on in the background as well. I think we need a new proper kit. Have you seen the night kits with the badges? Heat press on. The quality is dropping. I haven't seen that the latter part of that, but again, the home kit they never touch. Look at all the teams that they've got alliance with. They never touch the home kit. It's always the away and third kit. I like the home kit because again it's a plain classic kit, and the third kit I like because again I particularly like that. The away kit I don't like for next season, but that's just my opinion anyway. But nevertheless, what are we going to move on to? We're going to move on to Thiago, of course. Jesus Christ, what have I just read in the comments? But yeah, we're going to move on to Thiago Alcantara anyway, and of course Jacques Talbot as well. Speaking on Thiago, saying here from one source, Barcelona have interest in Liverpool midfielder Thiago. Spaniard's contract is up at Anfield in 2024. He did also, though, go on to say, but understand there's been contact, but Barca's priorities right now are Leo Messi, Icon Gundogan, Julian Foyth, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in that exact order, which, again, obviously, we know at the moment, in terms of Barcelona's finances, all of them are on free transfers in the summer, which again is pretty laughable in that sense as well. Of course, at the moment they are struggling at the moment to get to get Messi done. I think at the moment, I think Fabrizio Romano reported on it earlier on, saying that obviously La Liga and Barcelona are working very hard to get Messi back at Barcelona, but it looks very much impossible at the moment as well. So again, only time will tell with this as well. But I think what is interesting, especially from, I think, back in December or January time, we heard about a Thiago contract extension, and it was supposedly meant to be a 2-year deal concerning Thiago as well. So have Liverpool had a U-turn in that regard with Thiago, in terms of, again, I think last week it got spoken about in terms of Jordan Henderson, in terms of him, and obviously the recruitment team going, like, again, Liverpool shouldn't have got Henderson a new deal at the time, which of course I know Jurgen Klopp very much wanted. I think even when you look now at the Thiago situation, not Thiago, sorry, the James Milner situation, where Jurgen Klopp very much wanted James Milner to sign a new deal, and by the looks of it, the club and obviously the transfer committee have turned around and gone, no, like, again, we don't want to give James Milner a new contract. So again, obviously with the news with him potentially going to Brighton as well, obviously it opens up the door in that aspect as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts as well, of course, on the Thiago news as well. Of course, if there is anyone, of course, just tuning in as well, obviously with Thiago Alcantara, of course, Jack Talbot reporting that, of course, he's heard from a Barcelona source of course, Barcelona are interested in Liverpool midfielder Thiago Alcantara, which of course, a contract in 2026. But of course, the priorities at the moment are, of course, Leo Messi, Gundogan, Foyth, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in that exact order as well. But to be fair, could anyone see Thiago Alcantara going back to Barcelona? Of course, Thiago back in his Barca days there. Of course, I think he left for Bayern for something like 20 million at the time as well. So again, be interesting to know your guys' thoughts, and just, yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Will Thiago leave Liverpool at the end of the season, or even next summer as well? Because I think it'll be interesting whether or not to see if Liverpool will offer him a new deal. Do I think Liverpool should be offering him a new deal? No. I love Thiago. I think he's a world-class player, and he does offer something different to Liverpool's midfield. But again, he's just too injury prone. Again, we can't be relying on a player that can only play 20 games a season. That's not sustainable in that aspect as well. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Anyway. What else do we have? Let me quickly scroll up. I've just seen Badger's comment as well. Liverpool, Under Armour to Liverpool. No, get Adidas back to Liverpool. That'll be the proper answer. Sell Thiago as well. We need players that can give us 8 out of 10 seasons as well. I think Thiago can do that. It is just a limited amount. That's the realistic terms of it anyway. Should we look at Gundogan? No, too old. Great player, absolutely great player, and obviously Jurgen's worked with him before. But again, I think he's 30. Is he 31, 32? I think Gundogan as well. So again, we know Barcelona are gonna try and get players in the door that are on a free. Obviously, Bobby's been linked with Barcelona as well. So again, only time will tell. But their main focus at the moment is Messi. Like, Messi is above everything else. I think Barcelona would rather get Messi back than fix other problems in their squad. Like, I think they need a new right back. obviously I think people are going on about an attacker if Lewandowski gets injured as well. They don't really have anyone in that aspect of things. I think they need a left winger, if I'm being perfectly honest as well, because obviously I know Ousmane Dembele and um, Rafinha is on the wings for them, but when one of them are injured, then Barcelona look a little bit light on that aspect. Again, they're asking the likes of Gavi and Pedri to play left wing or right mid. Either way, anyway. But no more quick fixes. Absolutely. If we're going for a midfield overall, Thiago is too injury prone. So he should leave as well, says Zane. Yeah, I think plenty of people will have that opinion as well. I think look, keep him around for one more year, and then just look at him next summer. That's the thing. Thiago is phenomenal, and he's absolutely brilliant. But it is that again. I think everyone is sick and tired of Thiago not being around the majority of the season. Which again, I think everyone is right to do and right to say that as well, because again, for me personally, I still think Liverpool's best midfield it has Thiago in it at the moment, but hopefully in 12 months' time that won't be the case for us as well. So again, I think 100%. I think maybe keep him till next year, even if he goes for free. Again, look, we got Thiago, one of the best midfielders in the world at the time, as well, for an absolute bargain of 20 million at the time as well. But Chris saying, wait, wasn't Aubameyang at Barca before, or am I imagining things? No, you are correct. Again, Barcelona looked at signing him back in January because of that FIFA law that you can only register for 2 clubs in a season. So I think Matthias when the rumours of Matthias Nunes to Liverpool got spoken about in January, and of course that was a load of nonsense because of course he's already he registered for 2 clubs in a season with Sporting and Wolves. I think obviously with Aubameyang as well. Obviously he registered with obviously Chelsea and Barcelona, and there were conversations as well. I think with I think was it a German club or an Italian club for Aubameyang in January. And of course, that couldn't happen because he could only go to Chelsea or Barcelona. So Barcelona were back for him in January as well. And of course, nothing happened then because Barcelona couldn't afford it as well. So, but yeah, no, Aubameyang was there 12 months ago, and for some reason they want him back there. Which for me, I don't get that personally as well. When he is getting linked to Barcelona, it's like he was there literally 12 months ago. As well. Hang on, guys, let me quickly reply back to that. There we go. What else do we have? If Thiago, Milner, Ox, Keita, and Fabinho go, we need to get at least 4. It might even be that case now. I think 3 is a minimum. I think for Liverpool in the summer. For me personally, at least anyway. But good players, but not for Liverpool. I think Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago will stay. I love Thiago, but too injury prone. That's the only problem with him. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly the only problem with Thiago. Yeah, I think those 3 in particular stay. I think you look at the midfielders that are going right now. I actually quickly get a list up on my phone of how many, just looking at Liverpool's midfield at the moment. Let me quickly get the squad up. So yeah, you go through it now. Obviously James Milner, Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho, Naby, Arthur, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Bajcetic. Obviously Milner's going, Keita's going, Arthur's going, Ox is going as well. I forgot about Ox as well. So again, you need 3 just to replace them at the moment. So yeah, I think, and again, Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson should now be the 4th, 5th, and 6th choice midfielder for next season, instead of being the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, in my opinion, anyway. But Curtis Jones, sorry, Zane saying Curtis Jones has proven to me he's a good squad player for next season. Absolutely agree. Again, being brilliant in this new system for over the last 5-6 games. That's the problem, though. It's again the weird injuries, and the fact is, can he do it over a consistent season? We haven't seen it yet. Of course, we've seen a good purple patch at the moment in terms of Curtis Jones. And again, long may it continue, because at the moment he's doing very, very good for the team as well. But Chris saying Thiago will suit La Liga and not fast paced as Premier League. Yeah, absolutely. Tell you all, being what a hot mess the ending was at Anfield. Yeah, it was brilliant, but heart wrenching at times as well, I should say, Gary. But Barcelona are awful, but have only conceded 9 league goals. So how bad is La Liga? Yeah, like again, you look at Europe, for example. Like, look how it's so weird how teams like Spanish teams dominate European competitions. Like Madrid, for example. Like Madrid don't tend to win La Liga. It's always Barcelona, but then Barcelona don't do, haven't done that well in the league, in the Champions League, sorry, or even Europe as a whole. Look at Sevilla, for example. Like Sevilla are mid-table in La Liga, and of course they should always be considered one of the favourites for the Europa League if they're in the competition. You look at it this season again. Did anyone expect them to do what they did against Manchester United? No, I don't think anyone did. I think plenty of people thought that they would go, United would go through. But again, don't ever rule out Sevilla in the Europa League. I don't know what it is with Spanish teams and European competition, but again, they always go well together, which is annoying, of course. We know that the hard way as well, obviously concerning Real Madrid, at least anyway. But Naby Keita has been a waste of time at Liverpool, which you might disagree with. Maybe I'm too brutal there, but that's me. I, in some aspects, yes. Like Chris, you know my thoughts on Naby. When Naby is fully fit and available, I think he goes into Liverpool's midfield. That's again the problem. Um, and again, it's really frustrating because there is an absolute brilliant player there, but the the attitude of Naby Keita, since it's been confirmed, or near enough confirmed, that he's going to be leaving Liverpool, he has not bothered. Again, and that for me would be a very annoying stage as well, because again, if he's leaving Liverpool, then he has to be playing for a move somewhere and showing that he wants to, a, play football, and b, be able to show some fight in a team that again is struggling at the moment, but again, fights for the badge in that aspect of things. He hasn't done that. Again, the injuries that's come out with Naby, and that, like, again, I don't think Naby Keita plays for Liverpool ever again. Now, what we got, 5 games left this season. Again, Jurgen Klopp saying that he's fit and ready to go. I don't think Naby plays again this season, and rightfully so. Because, like I said, ever since it's been confirmed that he's going, he hasn't wanted to play for the club, and I think that's wrong. I really do think that's wrong. Another channel saying someone called Fafana is linked. Yeah, the the Monaco DM, French international, pretty good. But again, obviously, I think in particular, it's just get another option. I think with DM again, Ugarte for me though. But yeah, the Fafana got linked today, I think, but not by a reliable person. Again, so again, if you want to check about reliable sources, just again check the Anfield Talk again with their system. Again, I'd always suggest them, because again, if you want green lights, then go to them as well. But yeah, I'll go back to the Bundesliga. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, 1882 Reds podcast. And hello, Luke or Ricky. I think it's Ricky. Or was it Luke? As well as St. Conor Romano. Good seeing you lads as well. What else we have? If we are in the Europa League, what other sides are currently in those spots in Europe? At the moment, where's the league tables? So Europa League would be, I don't know at the moment. What would be Europa League at the moment? Would it be Liverpool, Spurs, and Villa currently in Europe? Fifth and sixth get again, I can't remember how it works out. So fifth and sixth get Europa League, the seventh get Conference League, and then eighth don't get anything. Or have I got that wrong? I'm not particularly sure, but at the moment anyway, Liverpool. Yeah, so obviously the top four would be City, Arsenal, Newcastle, and United. Liverpool, Spurs would get Europa League, I think, and then Villa would get Conference League as far as I'm aware. Anyway, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, but even Ox here, even in the mix, Ox is currently injured at the moment as well. So there you go. Freaking brilliant. That's the best aspect of things anyway. But we will move on and we will speak on, of course, Jurgen Klopp versus, of course, the evil man that is Paul Tierney as well. Of course, obviously, Jurgen did come out after the game saying, of course, there was a comment made by Paul Tierney, and of course, the PGMLO, or PGMOL, sorry, obviously, he had to come out with a statement last night and say, and of course, they did say that they have reviewed Paul Tierney's audio from today's game. We can, obviously, this is what they said, we can confirm he acted in professional manner throughout, including when issuing the. I forgot where I was reading then. Sorry, chat. Of course, introducing when issuing certainty to the Liverpool manager. So therefore, we strongly refer any suggestions that Tierney's actions were improper as well. Which, of course, again, you expected this, but I think on Talksport this morning, I think they were speaking about it more in depth as well. I think it was kind of right what they were saying as well, because again, they're either calling Jurgen Klopp a liar, or has that gone out for? Oh, no, Leicester. I thought Leicester scored then. Sorry, chat. But again, they're either calling Jurgen Klopp a liar, or they are just backing up. Again, the referees committee is backing up the referee, which again, for me personally, they need to release the audio, and then we can only get a proper perspective then of what was said and what was heard then realistically. And for me personally, that should be already a mandatory thing. Again, I wouldn't say during the game, maybe, but I think certainly after the game, in certain aspects, I think French football have already done this, and I think even German football has already done this. When you can hear the referee's, voice in certain situations. Again, you look at rugby in terms of the TMO, you constantly hear, the conversation between them in that aspect of things as well. I think that's something that football needs because again, if we hear that, after the game, what was said, then again, we'll have our own thoughts and our own opinions on it. At the moment, we're currently getting told that Jurgen, heard something that Paul Tierney, said something to Jurgen. Jurgen didn't agree with it, or that the manner that he spoke to it. Again, the PGMLO has come out and said that again. Look, he said, he spoke to him professionally, yada yada yada. Again, we're currently debating whether or not if a manager has misheard something, or whether or not if the referees actually said something to him as well. But obviously, obviously this incident as well has obviously caused a lot of controversy in terms of the punishment of Jurgen Klopp as well. In terms of course, his celebration towards the fourth official after Liverpool's late winner as well, and obviously, you got the idiots coming out as well. Obviously, the Ref Supporters UK obviously come out saying one potential sanctions for confronting match officials, including points deduction. Martin Cassidy, Chief Executive of Ref Support UK, said, "I would like to see a points deduction or at least a look at it," and they, being the FA, refused to do it. He did also go on to say, as well, in terms of Liverpool's case, obviously on Ref Support UK, saying, "Imagine if Liverpool didn't qualify for the Champions League because they were deducted points because of the behaviour of their manager. Think of a message that would show across the world. I know a points deduction will be serious. Address the situation." Now, of course, Jurgen did apologise for his actions during the celebration, of course, as well. For me, I think, look, again, was it right what Jurgen did? Again, I like the shithousery of it, and I do. of course, especially when the officials, are against doing in certain aspects as well. Of course, Jurgen didn't think, the foul, I think, on Ben Davies from Mo Salah should have been given, of course, which led to Spurs' third goal. But again, when you look at it, again, he's apologised. He can't do much more than that. But in terms of a points deduction, again, I think that would be stupid. And again, obviously, the FA has already rejected that as well. But we'll take a quick look as well. Obviously, with Jurgen Klopp, obviously, I think his problems with Paul Tierney as well. But we're going to take a quick look anyway, of course, at a few incidences that, of course, has happened over the years concerning the both of them. And of course, this was an article from This is Anfield as well, saying a history of Jurgen Klopp versus Paul Tierney, 8 flashbacks behind the feud, which of course goes back to, back to Jurgen Klopp's, I think, first full season as well, obviously. But well, again, as you can see there, back in way back in 2017 for Liverpool as well. Obviously, back when Liverpool played West Brom in a 0-0 draw, substitute Dominic Solanke had a ball over the line in the closing stage, only to be ruled out for handball, which he described as unlucky as well. But again, even then, going back into COVID years as well, I think when Liverpool beat, I think, Aston Villa 2-0, he told Jurgen Klopp and Andy Robertson to get over it after, of course, Tierney failed to give a free kick on Gini Wijnaldum. Of course, obviously missing the blatant penalty against Newcastle back in the COVID years as well. Again, obviously, you guys can go check this out as well. Obviously, if you guys remember this incident as well, obviously against Manchester United, when Sadio Mane was in on goal, obviously with 1 minute play, and he blew up 6 seconds beforehand. If you look at this, Sadio Mane is clean in on Manchester United. Of course, that game ended 0-0. At the time as well. But again, Sadio Mane was clean in for a one-on-one, and Paul Tierney blew the whistle for half-time as well. And obviously, again, that game back last season as well, of course, when Jurgen said, I have no problem with any other referees, only you as well, of course, when Paul Tierney didn't give a red card to Harry Kane as well, of course, for his dangerous tackle on Andy Robertson. Of course, you guys can already go back to that as well. Obviously, Wolves earlier on this season as well. And of course, the elbow a couple of weeks ago as well, when Robbo got booked. Robbo got booked for getting elbowed by the linesman as well. Of course, Paul Tierney gave a yellow card for Andy Robertson as well. But again, obviously, and of course, most recently, what he said was not okay with me as well, which of course, well, we'll never know what Paul Tierney said to Jurgen Klopp anyway. But I think for me personally, though, guys, I think the PGMLO have to release the audio, or there has to be something in place from next season onwards, so the public can hear what the referee is communicating to the players and to the managers as well. Because I remember a clip back, what was it, 5-6 years ago now, when I think John Moss, was it Liverpool Spurs again, when I think Dejan Lovren tackled, or something had happened with Harry Kane, and he didn't have a clue, John Moss, what happened, so he just gave the penalty. Like, of course, you have VAR now to help in that aspect of things as well, but again, it's the incompetence of the referee, where we heard it that time, thankfully, because of Sky Sports cameras. But again, you never know what the referees hear. Again, the PGMLO know exactly what's being heard because they have the audio tape. But I feel like, just for clarity reasons, I think the public should be allowed to hear, what has been said. It doesn't have to be, during the game, but certainly afterwards. I think there has to be some clarity on it as well. Not only on the Liverpool sense, I think just in Premier League in general. If it's already a thing in Germany and France, then again, it has to be in the Premier League. I think, in my personal opinion anyway. But again, we've constantly said, and it's not only Paul Tierney as well. And again, I don't want to, of course, publicly have a go at him, full on. But again, it's not only him. The refereeing in today's football, certainly Premier League, is diabolical. Like, we have the best league in the world. We do. The Premier League is the best league in the world. And we have the worst referees. It's as simple as that. Like, the Premier League has the worst officiating going. And again, that's not Liverpool. That's against Liverpool as well. Again, the whole Premier League, the refereeing and the officiating is terrible. We've been saying this for years and years and years, and it's never going to get changed until this group of referees are out. Again, you've got the odd one or two that are good, but it's rare, and it's very, very rare. Like Champions League, for example, like the Champions League, it runs smoothly because nearly all the officiating is done correctly. Again, the Premier League is nowhere near that. It's massively behind the likes of Serie A, Bundesliga, for example, or even the French league in that regard as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts as well on Jurgen Klopp versus Paul Tierney. Maybe we might have to get him in a boxing ring to sort it out as well. Anyway, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Anyway, Leipzig, Milan, Villarreal currently in Europa League spots as well. Yep, no, they are. Inter Milan as well, I think, are in there as well at the moment. But Chris is in as well. Good seeing you, my friend. Saying, what's your thoughts on Bicetic starting next year, and any news on Gravenberch? No, not as far as we know, apart from obviously the news on Saturday. If you want to go and check out Saturday's video, of course, with when we spoke about Gravenberch supposedly telling Bayern that he wants to leave. So again, I think realistically, we'll know soon enough what's going to happen with him, because again, if the rumours are that it is going to be a cut price for Gravenberch, I think again you're going to have United in for him, Chelsea. I wouldn't be surprised if they come knocking as well. So again, it'll be an interesting couple of weeks. But again, it looks like Liverpool are front runners in that regard as well. Of course, especially if that second meeting that supposedly happened is true as well. I think that would be very interesting as well. But points deduction, well, yeah, I absolutely agree. It would never happen. And again, it's I think the only reason why this has happened as well, and why it's become so big, is because it's Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. You're seeing Pep Guardiola in front of Kostas Tsimikas. Nothing got spoken about that, barely, in terms of main media. Again, there's been incidences with Arteta in terms of him mocking the referee as well. I think was it when they were away to Palace, or it was an away game, and you had Arteta mocking the referee. Nothing really got spoken about on that. And again, there's been different incidences this season that has happened that hasn't become mainstream media. Jurgen Klopp does something, and oh Jesus, worst thing in the world, blah blah blah. Oh, this, that, and the other. Like again, like it's hilarious when we end up doing something, it becomes big. Obviously, Liverpool are massive in that aspect of things, but you guys know what I mean in terms of, again, it's if Arteta or Guardiola did this, wouldn't get spoken about that mainly, because Jurgen's done it. It's huge in that way as well. But Demi's in as well, saying Ugarte is a monster. Absolutely agree, 1,000%. Kane and Robbo as well, and Gary's in agreed as well. Yeah, absolutely as well. Anyway, but to quickly run through the news anyway for you guys as well. If anyone's just tuning in, obviously we've spoken about Ugarte earlier on in the video. Of course, Liverpool scouts have watched Manuel Ugarte reportedly as well for a number of weeks. But yesterday, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Arsenal scouts were at Sporting's 2-1 win yesterday, of course. But again, hopefully Liverpool will act upon it as well, hopefully for next season. And of course, there's also been rumours with Thiago as well. Barcelona also rumoured to be interested in Thiago, but at the moment, of course, they are more interested in getting Messi, Gundogan, Foyth, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang done at the moment, but of course in that order as well at the current moment in time. So could we see Thiago back for Barcelona? Maybe, maybe not. I think he stays at Liverpool for a further year as well. And of course, we've spoken about Paul Tierney and Jurgen Klopp as well, and that little battle that keeps on going anyway. But I think it will be a while before Paul Tierney referees another Liverpool game in particular as well anyway. But guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on everything that we have mentioned in tonight's episode as well. And again, if there's anything because I know plenty of people watch the stream afterwards as well. If there's anything I've missed as well in the news, then please let me know in the comments, and I will try and reply back to all of you guys as well anyway. But of course, tomorrow will be Fulham preview as well, tomorrow at 9. Of course, Liverpool play Fulham on Wednesday, so again, the Reds are back in action pretty quickly as the season nears its end anyway. And of course, mathematically, top four is not done yet, but again, we have to secure Europa League football, at least anyway, for next season. Anyway, but until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. Please don't forget to hit that like button as well, and hit that subscribe button if anyone's new as well. And again, please share the channel out. Very much appreciated, of course, because we are on the road to 1K at the moment as well. Anyway, but until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you all later. Ta-ra.